Hey there, everybody. How's everybody doing? This is CP Cards and Dice TV, and we are replaying the 1969 Mets. The Mets are at home in Flushing, Queens. They are 73 and 48, while the Dodgers visiting are 57 and 65. This is game 122 of the season, and the pitching matchups are going to be Don Cardwell versus Jim Bunning, and we're going to look at that for a second very quickly, and I'm going to show you do a quick unboxing of a new product that we received, something that's a little bit unusual, a little bit of novelty. It doesn't make much of a difference, but it's a little bit of a novelty. It breaks things up, the monotony of doing what we do. And let me just get the crowd into the game, and then we're going to all right, so it's going to be Jim Bunning on the mound, and there's from this book that I picked up. It's called the Nair James Guide to Pitchers. Very interesting. Talks a little bit about Jim Bunning, and the pitches that he throws. He has a slider, a fastball, a curveball, a changeup, and then there's notes taken from different sources. Bunning threw with a sweeping sidearm delivery. He was accused of throwing a spitball, although his natural stuff was so outstanding, he certainly didn't need to. Sources: Baseball Star Pitchers, Bill Libby, Sandy Grady, and the Philadelphia Bulletin, and so on and so forth. Description: for his part, Williams, talking about Ted Williams, always remembered that Bunning slider, which seemed to rise instead of drop as it approached the plate. At least that's the way it looked. A result of Jim's sidearm delivery that ended with him hurtling off the mound to the first base side, often with his gloved left hand actually touching the ground. Source: Jim Bunning, Baseball and Beyond, Frank Dolson, 1998. Note: in his first no-hitter, 7/20/1958, so Bunning in 69 has been around a while, threw 51 fastballs, 49 sliders, 25 curveballs, and 7 changeups. The story of Jim Bunning, Bunning as told to Ralph Bernstein, 1965. Interesting. And for the Mets is Don Cardwell. Let's look and see a little bit on Cardwell, see if he's in here. Not every player is in here. I mean, it would be impossible almost to, but certain key guys you can find in here. So Cardwell, CAS, Carruthers. There he is, Don Cardwell. Pitches: fastball, curve, slider, and sinker, changeup, and a spitball occasionally. It took me 10 years, Cardwell speaking, it took me 10 years to throw a curve that satisfied me. What I threw then was more like a slider. I've never gone in for fancy stuff. Fastball, curve, slider, sinker, and changeup, and all controlled, satisfies me. I go 3/4 with the curve. I don't use the overhand curve because if I do, you've got to come overhand with your fast one or the hitters will know it's coming. Once in a while, I load one up. I've got a pretty good teacher in the spitball in one of our Met pitchers, and if I get away with it, I'm going to use it. Pitch selection, Baseball Digest 67, pitch selection, sinking fastball, change sidearm. Source: No Hit, Hall of Fame, 1985, Rich Coverly, and so on. Cardwell, another note, Cardwell, after having difficulty hiding his pitches, developed a unique delivery in which he pumped his arms over his head with the ball in his glove, his right hand empty. He would grab the ball at the top of the windup and get his grip for the pitch he wanted while following through on the delivery. Wow, crazy. Don Cardwell. All right, so let's get going here. Start the game. Lineup for the visiting team, the visiting Dodgers. Let's quickly look at the lineup for the Dodgers, and it's going to be Maury Wills leading off at shortstop, Manny Mota in left field, Willie Davis, the center fielder, batting third. Batting cleanup is Wes Parker. Tom Haller, the catcher, lefty hitting catcher, batting fifth. Batting sixth is Joe Lefevre, the third baseman. Willie Crawford batting seventh. Batting eighth is Ted Sizemore at second base. And batting ninth is Jim Bunning. So let's get started. Here we go. And then we'll talk about the Mets when the Mets come up to bat. So Cardwell is going to face his first batter, steps into the box. He'll be batting from the left side. Wills in the season is batting .296 with 1 home run, 28 stolen bases. Wills stole 25 stolen bases, so he's a little bit ahead of the mark, but of course you're always going to get that. All right, so what's new and what's interesting and what's unique? Hey, D. Smith, how are you, brother? A little bit late, but that's for the night birds, for the night owls, excuse me. Here I got a unique 6-sided die. It's 2 6-sided die in one. It's got, yeah, it's like throwing 2 dice, but of course you need to throw. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to use those. It's got Met blue color. I'm going to throw. So they're basically not 12-sided die. They're 2 double D6s. Yep. And then of course I got my standard D10s. So here goes Cardwell to Maury Wills. We are showcasing, debuting, if you will, the double D6. That's what she said. And that's going to be a 7. That's in play off of Wills, and that's a 93, excuse me, and that is flied out to left field. Cleon Jones puts it away for out number 1. Slide this over just a little bit because we're going to get these guys in here. All right. So in the way you play payoff pitch is you throw 2d6. That's going to be a 9. We read off the pitcher card. That's a in play. So that's what you're going to look at on the batter card, in play. And of course he's a righter, so I got split cards. I'll be looking against the right-handed pitcher, and we roll a 78. That's not going to be in this section, so that's going to move us to the out section. And that's ripped to short. And Harrelson, after it gets there, throw to first, and in time, 2 away. Willie Davis is next. I'm going to throw them all together now. And that is an 8 patient, a patient 17, and that is ball 4. So Willie Davis waits out Cardwell, and high and outside, he trots down to first. And Davis's potential threat to steal, he had 24 stolen bases. So let's try to get the lead. Cardwell is a 7. So 7 or less, and we can go. And that is a 4. So Davis is going to go. And behind the mound, we have Grody. Grody's not the easiest guy to steal. He's a 2-arm, so he's a pretty good arm. He's above average arm. We are going to pull a fast action card. So it's a C2, and that is going to send us, I believe, to what is considered the fair section. A C2, and I'm correct on that. Fair section, and this is going to say stolen base and a potential error. So if the roll is higher than Grody's error rating, it's going to be an error. So roll, if result is equal to or less than the catcher's E rating, no error. So it's got to be a 4 or above. And it's a 1, so there's no error. Throw down from Grody, not in time. It's going to be a stolen base, a 2-out stolen base for Willie Davis. And it's going to be Wes Parker. Here's the pitch from Cardwell. And that is a 7 in play, 86. And that is that bounces to the shortstop, Harrelson, who charges in, throws on the run, and gets his man. All right, we go to the bottom of the first. Here's Jim Bunning facing Tommy Agee. The Mets lineup, let's go into that very quickly before we look at the results of that roll. It's going to be Agee leading off in center field. Bobby File, the third baseman, batting second. He's batting .229. Batting cleanup at 326. I'm sorry, batting in the third hole at 326 is left fielder Cleon Jones. Batting cleanup is Shamsky at 314. Kenny Boswell, the second baseman, batting fifth at 316. Ron Swoboda at 230, the right fielder, batting sixth. Batting seventh is Jerry Grody, batting 238. The catcher, batting eighth, is the shortstop Buddy Harrelson at 266. And batting ninth is Don Cardwell. That's going to be a 7 off bunting. That's in play, and in play 68. And that is going to be grounded to the second baseman. Ted Sizemore over to first, one away. Bobby File is next. That's actually how you pronounce his name, Bobby File. And that's an 8 in play and a 13. And that is a hard hit ground ball and through the left side. A base hit for File. So he's on at first with a single, 1 out single. And here comes Cleon Jones. We're going to try to hit and run. And that's a 4, a tough 88. And that is ripped to the shortstop, Wills. He's going to have 1 play. No chance to get Filed. He was on the move. And the throw over to first at 6-3, that puts a runner in scoring position. That's why you use the hit and run. You just want to avoid the, you don't want to overuse it, of course. You want to use it twice a game, maybe maximum. And you want to get it started early because you do want to get on the board first. It's always an advantage. And you just want to stay out of the double play. That's all you want it to, on any grounder, you just want to stay out of the double play. That's really what it's all about. So now with a runner on second base and 2 outs, it's going to be Art Shamsky. Here's the pitch from Bunning. Bunning was, Bunning, had a limited season. I just noticed that for the Dodgers in '69. He was 3-1 with a 3.36 ERA. Only pitched 56 innings that year. Wow, that's interesting. He's 38 years old by this time. That's going to be a 3. That's a defense. So you know what? In this game, we're going to use the number that we roll, a 58. And a 58 does allow the potential for either a hit or an error. So we're going to pull a card and see who it's to. It's going to be to the shortstop, and that is Wills. So let's take a quick peek at Wills. And it's a error on Wills. So that's a 3 error. I think the 58 is going to be above that. A 3 error is 1 to 44. So that is a ball that Wills gets to, and he looks Filed back to second. Well, he doesn't need to do that because there's already 2 outs. Throws across the diamond, and that retires the side. So Shamsky grounds out with a runner in scoring position, and here we go to the top of the second. Don Cowell versus Tom Haller, left-handed hitting catcher. Not a very good arm on Haller, so the Mets will have a good opportunity to run on him. That's going to be an 8. That's patient. A patient 97. That takes us from the patient to the out range, and that is a ball that's driven in the gap, and Swoboda's after it, and he tracks it down. So Haller ripped it in the gap, but Swoboda got a good jump on it, read it right off the bat. 1 away. Here comes Joe Lefevre. He's a switch hitter batting from the left side against the righty Don Cardwell. That's going to be an 8, a patient 36. And that is ball 4. So Lefevre waits him out, and he gets a base on balls. He's on at first, and Lefevre, let's see if he's a base runner, 2 stolen bases. So why not? Nothing there. And it's Willie Crawford. Try hit and run with only 1 out. Willie Crawford, I believe, is a contact guy. 7. That's in play. 36 in play. And that is going to be a ground ball to the first baseman. And Shamsky's going to race Crawford to the bag and gets there. And Lefevre, who was on the move, moves to second base. So I'd like to get my hit and runs out early, and I may save one for later on. Let's see what happens. So again, with 2 outs, there's a runner in scoring position. Think about it. The more runners you have in scoring position, the more opportunity you will have to score some runs. So you want to get those guys over as much as possible. Ted Sizemore. Here's a pitch, and that is a 5 in play, 0-5. And that is going to be a line drive down the line, and that's a fair ball. Jones is after it. Lefevre is going to come in to score around second is Sizemore. He's going to go to third. Here's the throw from Jones and the tag from File. Not in time. Triple, a 2-out triple, RBI triple for Ted Sizemore. And again, that is a In play 0-5 against a righty. Yes, sirree. He also has a triple at Patient. So how many triples did he hit? Oh, altogether he hit 5 triples. All right, so Sizemore's on at third base, 1-0 Dodgers here in the top of the second. Bunning. The pitcher's up. Here's the pitch from Cardwell. Infield's back. No need. It's ballpark. Ballpark 71 is going to be in play. He's a righty. So against a righty, it's 1-32. And an in play 20. And that is a pop-up behind the plate. Grody flips his mask away, settles under it, makes the catch, and that retires the side. But the Dodgers pick up a run. They lead it 1-0 going to the bottom of the second. Jim Bunning against Kenny Boswell. And that's an 8 in play, 79. And that is fly to center field. Willie Davis drifts over, squeezes it for the out. Ron Swoboda's up next. Pitch from Bunning. And that's an 8 in play, 0-3. And that's a ball that's driven in the gap. That's going to split Moda and Davis. Going to roll to the wall. Swoboda around first and into second base. The slide, and he is safe with a double, a one-out double for Ron Swoboda. Jerry Grody up next with a runner at second base. See what happens. That's a 3. That's a defense. We're going to use the 16, so that's a guarantee that something happens. Error shortstop, Wills, and at a 3, he's going to make an error. Let's see what kind of error it is. It is going to be shortstop error is going to be a 1-base error, so he bobbles the ball. Swoboda over to third. First and third, it's going to be an E6. And that's going to bring up Buddy Harrelson. Infield's going to be in now for the Dodgers early on in the game. They're going to play the infield in. Niner. That's Patient. And a Patient 13 is going to be ball 4. So Harrelson works a walk, and that loads the bases. 1 out. Cardwell. Cardwell is a bunter, a 4-12 bunter. He is, what kind of a bunter is he? Cardwell is a B bunter. We are going to try a squeeze play, something that I hardly ever do. We're going to try a squeeze play, if I can find it. Sacrifice bunt. When attempting a squeeze bunt, run around third, use column D. All right. So there goes. The runner is safe if the result is SH and 2D6 total is equal to or less than the runner's run rating. The runner at third base is Swoboda. Hopefully he is at least a 7. Oh, he is a 7. Okay. So you need 2 things to happen here. You need an SH, a successful bunt, and then you need the 2D6 total to be equal or less. So 7 or less, he'll be safe. Otherwise, use the lead result. And that may, okay, so let's do that. Here goes. We are going to, first of all, we're going to try to get him to bunt 4-12. And then we're going to pull a card, 4-12, and then he's going to be, we're using the, I'm attempting to use the D column. Okay, we're going to have to use the D column here. So we're actually going to roll 2 sets. First of all, now, let's first of all see if he bunts. 4-12. Okay, he squares. Good. So Don Cardwell is bunting. And now we're going to use the D column. And that is going to be a 47. A 47, it's a successful sacrifice. Now we need to roll on the batter's speed, which is 7 or less. If it's 7 or less, he scores on a squeeze. Here goes. And that's a 5, and he is safe. Oh, great play. Great bunt, and a good play by Bunning. Got to that ball and tossed it quickly to the catcher. Haller in the tag, not in time. So a successful squeeze. It's, I think, the first one I've ever done with payoff pitch. So let's see. A sacrifice hit. Actually, it's going to be a tricky how to do this now. Sacrifice hit plus error. No. Let's go into detail. So we don't get sacrifice there either. So that is a squeeze play. And let me go into rare. Let's see if that's even in rare. I don't even know if I have that anywhere, squeeze play. Something that basically, I think that's the first time I've ever done a squeeze play. Successful squeeze play. Crazy. So it's a sacrifice hit, but then he'll be out. Oh, wait. Oh, no. SB and... So a K, this is going to be a tough one. Single plus an error. Sacrifice hit. Runner advances. Can't do that. We go into detail. Double, triple, fielder's choice. You know what? But he wouldn't get a. You see, on a fielder's choice, he's still going to get credit for an at bat. That's the problem. If I give him a fielder's choice and an RBI, he is batter, base on balls. He does strikeout, pickoff, runner on third, batter out for using illegal bat, runner on second and third, fly out, batter out, game called. No, it's none of those. So I don't really have anywhere to put this one. Pass ball, wild pitch, stolen base. The only way for me to do it is to give him. Oh, wait. I have a fielder's choice. But I can keep him on base with a fielder's choice. That's the only way to do this. So the only way to do it is to give him a fielder's choice and keep him on base. He'll pick up an RBI, and the Mets have tied the game. That's the only way to do it. I can't. So he's still going to be still going to be charged with an at bat. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to do that. I will find out with the game designers how exactly you would do that. I don't see it anywhere here. I'm using the replay PC game system. I got sacrifice hit plus an error. No, a sacrifice hit plus an error. I got a sacrifice fly. That would not work. So, yeah, I just don't have that anywhere. There is no choice for it. Let me see if I chose fielder's choice from here. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Let me erase that. Okay. All right, so Tommy Agee with the bases loaded, 1 out. So that was a successful squeeze play. You never see, I never see that very often, and I'll probably never do it again. But Tommy Agee with the bases loaded, infield's going to be in. The game is tied at 1. Here's the pitch from Jim Bunning. Bunning can go 7, at least 7. We'll see what happens. That's going to be an 11 in play, an 11-0-6, and that's going to be driven in the gap, and that is going to be get to the wall. After it is Davis and Mota, and that is going to score at least 2. Cardwell is a running, I believe he's a 6 running, and they're going to hold up Cardwell. I didn't pull it. Let me pull the card to see what it says. Double, runners advance 2 bases. Okay, problem solved. So that's a 2-run double for Tommy Agee, and the Mets are up 3-1 now. Bobby File was second and third, and fields in. Jim Bunning the pitch. 3-1 Mets. That's a 9er. That's a patient 0-0 with runners on base. That's going to take us to the chart, the chart that I love so much, the rare play chart. I do use it when there's runners on base, and I switched the defense is somewhere here. Defense is number 9. I removed all the injuries because I don't play with injuries. So Bobby File, let's see, let's roll 2d6 and see what happens on the rare play chart. That's a 5. Roll 2d6. Okay, again, re-roll them. 7. If the total is higher than the pitcher's hold rating, Bunning's hold rating, no. it's a balk. Otherwise, no balk. Re-roll and use in play. Okay, re-roll and use in play. On Bobby Fowl with the infield in, 1-9. And that is, my friends, that is going to be a line drive base hit to left center field. And Moda is going to come over. And let's see how many score on this. It's going to say runner on second advances 1 base question mark. So I am going to try to score him. And it was a base hit to center field. So Willie Davis, let's check Willie Davis's arm. Willie Davis is a 7. Tommy Agee, going to try to score him, is a running 8. All right, so let's see if we can get below that. And it's going to be a 6. And here's the throw. And not in time, Agee scores. Now, if File's on the throw home, if File is a 7 or better, which he is, he's going to take second base. So that's a RBI single. We're going to go into detail. It's a 2-run single. It's 5-1 Mets now. 2-run single. And then the batter is going to go into second base. So there's 1 out, runner on second. Mets are up 5-1. Jim Bunning is still on the mound. Here's the pitch to Cleon Jones, who we should walk, but already rolled. That's a patient 29, and that is a base on ball. So there's action in the bullpen for the Dodgers. Runners on first and second with 1 out. And that is a 6. A 6 is a tough. 0-3 is a strikeout. So curveball gets Shamsky. And now it's Kenny Boswell, 2 outs. 5-1 Mets, still bottom of the second. That's a 5. That's a ballpark. A ballpark 43, lefty. It's going to take us to in play. In play 0-3, and that is pulled down the line into the right field corner, and Crawford is after it. It hits off the wall, caroms, and that is going to be a 2-run double for Kenny Boswell, and that's going to be it. That's going to put Bunning into the fatigue zone. 2-run double, and the Mets are up 7-1 now. So the best we can do with this game is turn it into a short tutorial, and then I'll play out the rest of it offline because this game is pretty much over. So we're going to get a new pitcher for the Dodgers, and we're going to turn it into a short tutorial video, and then we will play the rest of it out. We'll play it until the 4th, and let's see now. Let's see who they have. Mickelson. I'm going to bring in Pete Mickelson. He's a righty facing Swoboda. Swoboda's coming to bat with Kenny Boswell at second base. He doubled home 2 more. So it's going to be Pete Mickelson. Let's learn a little bit about Mickelson. He pitched in these games. I looked up the box scores. All right, he comes in to replace Bunning. Mickelson had a 2.77 ERA, a 7.5 1-loss record. And he pitched 81 innings in 48 games. All right. So here's a pitch to Ronnie Swoboda. And that is a 10 ballpark 0-3. That's going to be wheelhouse against a righty. Wheelhouse against the righty. And let's see what Ron Swoboda does on this. And that's a deep drive off the bat of Swoboda. A deep drive off the bat of Swoboda. I have to get this in a second. And that's going to be way back. And to the track is the left fielder, Moda, and he's got room, makes the catch, and that retires the side. So let me just get this. Okay. All right, so that's the end of the inning. The Mets come up with 7 runs in the bottom of the second. Yes, sirree. And they drive the starter, Jim Bunning, from the game. Maury Wolves is going to lead it off. Here's the pitch from Cardwell. Cardwell in our replay is 9-5 with a 2.96 ERA. That's going to be a 9. That's in play, 64. In play, 64. And that is chopped to the second baseman. Boswell, who waits back, now charges. One down. Moda. And that's a 5er. That's in play. And that's going to be driven over the center fielder's head. And Agee is going after it. Moda into second base to throw, and not in time for a one-out double for Manny Moda. Here's Willie Davis with a runner on second base and 1 out. Top of the third. It's a 7-1 ball game. And that is a snake eyes. That's patient, a patient 97. And that is going to be a fly ball right field. Swoboda. Down by 6 runs. We're going to play it safe. We're already in scoring position. But normally I would try to advance if I could on a deep fly. I would consider that. But we're not doing that here. 6 runs down. So it's going to be Wes Parker. 2 outs now. Runner on second base. Moda takes his lead. Cardwell looks over. Sets and deals. Here's the pitch to Parker. That's a 6. That's a tough. A 0-4. Strike 3, and that retires the side. So Cardwell gets him with a slider. And we go to the bottom of the third. Jerry Grody leading it off for the Mets. It's going to be Grody, Harrelson, and Cardwell, the bottom of the order. Pete Mickelson. Pete Mickelson is a long guy. So you can go 3. At least 3, I guess. It's hard to tell. The fatigue system is very unusual. I think it says he can go 3. But that's if he doesn't give up more than like 1 run or 2 runs. If he gives up no runs, then it's unlimited. I don't understand it. But anyway, that's going to be a 3, a wheelhouse 81. And Grody, that is chopped. Got on top of that, and that's the Wills. Wills is going to have plenty of time. 1 away. Grody, not a fast runner. Buddy House, bottom of the third, 7-1 Mets. And that is going to be a snake eyes, an error. That's an automatic error. Maybe an automatic error. It's a 62. So I'm going to pull a card. Third baseman. So we're going to look at the third baseman is Lefevre. Lefevre has got an error rating at third base of a 5. So it's actually, no, it's not going to be an error because we rolled a 62. So there's no error there. And it's going to be a line out because otherwise you don't see very many line outs. So I make those results to third baseman on error cards as line outs. If it's to the first baseman and there's no error, I make it a line out to the first baseman. And these older sets, there aren't too many line outs or pop-ups. So it's the pitcher now. Cardwell, and Cardwell so far today, he actually squeezed in a run earlier in the game. He was given a fielder's choice, charged with an at bat. Unfortunately, there was no other way for me to do it. I got to figure out how to do that. All right, so Cardwell, and that's going to be a 5, a tough 12, and that's strike 3, and that retires the side. Go to the top of the fourth. Tom Haller leading it off against Cardwell. Pitch from Cardwell is a 6. That's a tough 30. Normally that's a wild pitch, but there's nobody on. So a tough 30 is going to be a strikeout. Hey, hello. Hey, let me, hi, how are you? Let me call you right back, okay? Let me call you right back. Thank you. All right. So Joe Lefevre, let's see, 1 out, top of the fourth. And that's a 4, a tough 69er. And that's a tough 69, and that is going to be grounded to second base. Boswell, easy hop, throws him out, 2 down. And Willie Crawford, left-handed batter. Willie Crawford in our replays batting 280. 9 home runs. That's a niner in play 16, and that is a hard hit ground ball and through into right field for a base hit. No stealing now, not 6 runs down in the 4th. Holy smokes. Here's Ted Sizemore. He hit a triple earlier in the game. That's a 5. That's in play 43, and that is hit hard to the third baseman File, who scoops it, throws across the diamond for out number 3. Let's get the sound going back up here. Otherwise, it's very, very quiet. It's like a cemetery. Tommy McGee. All right. Tommy Agee. Not Tommy McGee. Tommy Agee. 10. Thinking about other things. Ballpark 72. That's going to be in play. In play against a righty. That's going to be a 19. That's a base hit for Agee. Strokes went to left field. Cut off by Mota. Gets it in. Leadoff base knock for Tommy Agee. Bobby Files next. And that's a 10. And that's a ballpark again. A 95 is going to take us to in play. In play 31. And that is still not a wild pitch. 30, anything between 30 and like 38, I believe, is a potential wild pitch. It's going to be a 31 on a ballpark. It took us to the in play 31. And that is going to be a comebacker to Mickelson. You have a chance for a double play here. A 10 is not going to do it. So it's going to be a fielder's choice. A 1-6 to throw to first, not in time. File hustling down the line. Gets there, but it will be a 1-6 fielder's choice. Cleon Jones. Here's the pitch from Mickelson. That's snake eyes. That's an error. 97 will not be an error. Let's see who it's to. And that's a shortstop. And Wills flips it, tosses it to Sizemore for the field. Oh, no, wait a second. I got to look because I thought there were 2 outs. There's only 1 out. And so there's no error because we rolled the 97. So that's way out of error range. There's no error, but it's going to be an A or B potential line out double play. If the guy's A or B, and I do not think that Wills is A or B. So I'm pretty sure, actually, I think he's a C. Oh, no, wait a second. He is a B, and that's line to Wills, and the throw to first. Oh, they get File. File gets caught off first on that line out. That's going to be a double play. 6-6-3 double play. Holy smokes. And let's see how we're going to do that. 6-6-3 double play, 6 unassisted, and then 3 double play. That should be 2 outs. Let's see if that'll give me 2 outs. And it does. Perfect. All right. So a line out by Cleon Jones, but it turns into a double play because File gets caught napping at first base. All right. Cardwell is going to face the relief pitcher, Mickelson, and we're going to let Mickelson bat. Mickelson is a 5 pitcher hitting card. I'm going to let him bat. Not going through the whole thing for just yet. I'll pinch hit later, just not. 7-1 in the 5th. Maybe easier for me to just, you know what? It's easier for me to pinch hit. Let me pinch hit for Mickelson. Let's see who we're going to bring in. We got a righty. We got Gabrielson. Gabrielson is our lefty. And then we got Sudeikis. Sudeikis is a switch hitter. We're going to bring in Sudeikis. He played in yesterday's game. Bill Sudeikis. And then we're going to bring in a new pitcher. So here goes the pitch to Sudeikis. Top of the 5th, 7-1 Mets. It's a 5. A 5 is in play, 20. And that is base hit, center field. Played on a hop by Agee. So Sudeikis strokes a pinch hit single. And the lead batter is on. And we'll see who we're going to. Maury Wills now. Here's the pitch. Snake eyes, patient 32. Patient 32 is ball 4. So first 2 batters are on base in a 7-1 ball game. Manny Mota. It's an 11 wheelhouse 44. Wheelhouse 44 off a righty. And Mota doesn't even have a home run versus right-handed pitching. And that is going to be a hard hit ground ball to the third baseman. And he could step and throw. Let's see what happens here. We rolled an 11, so it's going to be one play, and that's the first base, 5-3. Both runners move up. Willie Davis now feels back for the Mets. They're willing to concede a run for an out. 7. In play, 40. And that is again a ground ball to the third baseman. File to his left. Nice play. And with runners on second and third, he's going to go to first on this. Well, actually, the 7 may be no, there's no chance for a fielder's choice. Wills is going to hold. Sudeikis is going to score. We'll do that. It's going to be 5-3 ground out. And batter is out. Runner holds a second, scores 7-2. So Davis picks up an RBI. Wes Parker with Wills at second. And that's a 7 in play, 0-3. That's line base hit. That's going to split the outfielders, and that's going to roll to the wall. Parker around first. Wills scores a 2-out RBI double for Wes Parker. There was a second not in time, offline. Tom Haller now, 7-3. Oh, that's a 10, and that's a defense. Defense 16, that's going to be a definite something, a range. That is going to be by. That's a base hit, and that is going to score Parker with 2 outs, and it's a 7-4 ball game. Parker is a 7. It's a little ground ball up the middle, and Boswell doesn't reach it. So it's an RBI single for Haller with 2 outs. 7-4 now. So there's some action in the Met bullpen. Jim Lefevre. And that's a 5 in play, 48. And that is a ground ball to the third baseman. File goes to Boswell at second, and that retires the side. But the Dodgers pick up 3 runs and make it a ball game. Now it's 7-4. They're only behind by 3 runs. Art Shamsky's leading us off. And we are going to bring Al Mcbean. Al Mcbean. Say hello to Mcbean, folks. Tell you a little bit about Al Mcbean quickly. Towards the back end. That's what she said. Al Mcbean, 2-6 with a 3.91 ERA. 48 innings pitched. He's going to face Shamsky. Oh, you know what? There's a couple of lefties coming up. But the problem is if so who do I have? If I don't bring in, let me get rid of that sub. Look, I could bring in Brewers for a couple of lefties, but then we'll probably pinch hit. I'll pinch you one guy. I'm not going to pinch you. We're going to bring in Brewer. So Brewer, the lefty's coming in. We'll bring in, so Brewer's in there. We'll bring in Mcbean later. He's a righty. So Shamsky. Shamsky's playing first base. You know who we're going to bring in? We're going to bring in Clendenin to bat. Let me just make sure that, well, I already pulled him. Let me see. Wait a second. Center field. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So it's going to be Clendenin. Let me tell you a little bit about Clendenin. He's got 7 home runs. He's batting .241 for the Mets. I can't find the Mets cards. Here they are. All righty. Clendenin. There he is. Don Clendenin is going to come in. He's going to pinch hit and then he's going to take over at first base. Not a very good first baseman. Here's a pitch from the lefty Brewer. Brewer with an 8. That's a tough 94. And that is a fly ball deep left field. Mota on the run to the track and runs it down. So Clendenin gave it a ride, but did not carry out of the park. That's out number 1. Next is Kenny Boswell. He's a lefty. He'll be batting. That's a 12 wheelhouse 41 against a lefty. And that is going to be a ground ball to the first baseman Parker, who's going to flip to Brewer covering. That's 3-1. And here comes Ron Swoboda. So Ron Swoboda has an advantage batting against a left-hander. He hit 242 versus lefties. Not a huge advantage. It's a 6. It's a tough. A 58 versus a lefty. And that is a strikeout. So Swoboda downswinging, and that retires the side. So it's going to be Cardwell versus Crawford in the top of the 6th. It's a 7-4 ball game. Here's a pitch. And we need that new first baseman. It's going to be Clendenin at first base for the Mets. It's going to be an 8. An 8 is a patient, a 64. And that is a ground ball to the shortstop, Harrelson, who charges it and throws out Crawford. Sizemore with a 12, and that's ballpark. Ballpark 81 takes us to in play. In play 43, and that is a ground ball chopped to third. File charges it, throws on the run, and gets his man. 2 down. And I didn't pull a double switch. Okay, I didn't pull a double switch, so we're gonna pinch hit for Brewer. I could have done that, but I didn't worry about it. We have pitchers, so we're gonna bring in a lefty, Gabrielson. And this is gonna be the last inning. Oh no, Cardwell can go one more inning. He can go until the 8th, until inning 8. So you can go this inning and one more inning. So we're gonna bring in Gabrielson. And Gabrielson batting 307 in the replay. In reality, he batted 500 against lefties and 262 against righties. He had only 6 at bats versus lefties, so I guess he was 3 for 6. That's pretty funny. All right, so Cardwell versus the lefty, Gabrielson. That's going to be a 5. That's in play 0-2, and that's line. Pull down the line into the corner. Swoboda after it, and Gabrielson. He's going to try for 2. The throw from Swoboda, not in time. That's a double, a 2-out double for the pinch hitter, Gabrielson. Runner in scoring position. And it's Maury Wills. Here's the pitch. And that is a snake eyes patient, 68. And that is a fly ball. And Agee, that's in the gap. Jones and Agee converge. And Agee makes the catch, and that retires the side. A new pitcher, and now it's going to be Mcbean. See if we can get some innings out of Mcbean. We are going to the bottom of the 6th. It's 7-4. It's going to be the bottom of the order, so we're probably going to see a pinch hitter and a new pitcher for the Mets. Here's the pitch from Mcbean. Grody. And that's going to be an 8. That's a tough 37. Strike 3, and that is 1 out. Next is Bud Harrelson. That's an 8, a tough 25, and that's a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks. So Mcbean sits down Harrelson and Grody, and here comes the pitcher. They got a pinch hitter for the pitcher, who's really, I think he's, you know what? I'm going to let him bat. He's a 6th pitcher hitting card. That's a 5 ballpark. 0-0. It's going to be a defensive call. And we're going to use a left field range. We're going to roll. Left field range 94, and that's a line drive to left field. Mota sliding catch and holds on to the ball for a line out to left. So that roll was too high for it to be a base hit. So it's a sliding catch off the pitcher, Cardwell's bat. So he hit the ball well, and Cardwell's still in there in the 7th inning. This is the last inning that he can go. He's going to face Mota, Davis, and Parker. Here's a pitch from Cardwell, and that's a 9er in play 91, and that is in play 91. That's a fly ball left field. Jones towards the line, hooking away from him, and he runs it down. Went away. Willie Davis, back from the right side. That's an 11 wheelhouse 34, and that's a deep drive into right field. Swoboda to the track, to the wall, looks up, and that is out of here. Willie Davis makes it a 7-5 ball game, and that's his 9th home run of the season. Trying to get Cardwell through this inning. Here's Parker. 7-5 now. And that is a 7 in play, 0-8. That's going to be line drive. Base hit off the bat of Parker. Strokes one to left center field. Excuse me, right center field. Swoboda cuts it off, gets it in, and Parker's on at first now. So the tying run is at the plate, and that's going to be it for Cardwell. He's out. He is out of there, and that's going to bring up a lefty. And we're going to go with, at this point, Tug McGraw. You got to believe. Tug McGraw is coming in. He's going to get the call. So Hodges calls on Tug McGraw. Against the lefty hitting catcher, Haller. But then we're going to see a pinch hitter. It's going to be Torborg. Torborg's going to pinch hit with Parker on at first. Let's see if Parker can get a jump at 4 stolen bases. Not really. We'll try it. Let's throw 2d6. It's got to be really low, and it's not low. So Torborg can also do a hit and run as well. Keep this guy out of the double play. So Torborg is going to pinch hit. You're going to stay in to play catcher. We're going to try a hit and run with Torborg, see what happens. Tug McGraw, the pitch, that's a 12. That's a tough 81 against a lefty, and that is going to be ripped to short. Harrelson's going to have but one play, and that is going to be the first because Parker was on the move. And that's exactly how a hit and run works. It keeps you out of the double play. You run the risk because a line drive becomes a double play. So now it's a switch hitter, Lefevre against Tug McGraw. This was a 7-1 ball game. Now it's a 7-5 ball game. We're in the top of the 7th. Runner in scoring position, and the tying run is at the plate in Lefevre. Lefevre's got a little power, not too much. He's a little bit more, he's got more power versus lefties. Tug McGraw is a lefty. All right, here's the pitch. And that's a 7. That's a tough 43 versus a lefty. And that is popped up. And Boswell back, and Harrelson on the outfield grass makes the catch. Buddy takes it for the 3rd out, and that retires the side. So that was exciting. We have a new catcher. It's going to be Jeff Torborg. And it's going to be Mcbean is still on the mound. He's going to be facing Tommy Agee. Bottom of the 7th, 7-5 ball game now. And that's a 7. That's in play, 0-7. And that is ripped. And that's over the center fielder's head. That's going to be one hop off the wall. Davis, Agee hustling. And he's around second. Here's the relay to third. And he is safe at third base with a leadoff triple. Just what the doctor ordered for the Mets. So the infield's going to come in for the Dodgers. It's going to be Lefevre, Wills, Sizemore, and Parker all on the grass. They want to prevent this run from scoring. Bobby File now. Here's the pitch, and that is an 8, a tough 42. And that is a base hit, and that's going to split the outfielders. Davis after it, and this scores Agee easily. File around second. He's around second, changed his mind, thought about third, goes back to second. The throw to second, he's tagged out. No, wait a second. Oh, Sizemore did not hold on to the ball. Sizemore did not hold on to the ball, rolled out of his glove, so he is safe. So it's going to be a double for Bobby File, gives the Mets an 8-5 lead, and he's at second base with nobody out. They're going to walk Cleon Jones, intentional walk for Cleon Jones, setting up the double play. Don Clendenin. Here he comes, Al Mcbean versus Don Clendenin. Here's the pitch from Mcbean. That's a 9er. That's a tough 24, strike 3, and Mcbean blows a fastball by Clendenin. Swinging for the fences. Kenny Boswell, the lefty. Here's the pitch, and that is a 7. Again, in play, 71. And that is ripped to the shortstop, Wills, who on a 7 flips to the second baseman, Sizemore, relay to first in time. And Parker scoops it out of the dirt. Great play by the first baseman, Parker. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play, and that retires the side. But the Mets pick up an extra insurance run Go to top of the 8th. Willie Crawford is leading us off. McGraw is going to face Crawford, Sizemore, and Al Mcbean. Probably going to see a pinch hitter from Mcbean. And that is a 7. 7 is a tough 33. A tough 33 against a lefty is a strikeout. So Crawford swings and misses. And he heads back to the bench dejectedly. Ted Sizemore with a 7. That's, again, it's a tough, a 52. And that is a fly ball, right field. Swoboda drifts under it, makes the catch. And we're going to have a pinch hitter, Mcbean. And we got a lefty on the mound. We're going to see Costco. Andy Costco. Costco in the replay is batting .236 with 13 home runs. 8-5 Mets in the top of the 8th. Andy Costco steps in there against Tug McGraw with 2 outs. And that's a 7, again a tough. I think I rolled 3 7s. 39, and that is going to be strike 3. And that retires the side. So strikeout, flyout, and strikeout. We go to the bottom of the 8th. See a new pitcher. New pitcher, and that's going to be, let's see, who is it going to be? I got Mahler and Lamb. Let's see if either one of the Lamb is he's a reliever. Okay, good. He's a relief pitcher. So Ray Lamb is coming in to pitch. He's a right-hander. And who else? Did I need to bring anybody else? Nope, that's about it. New pitcher. All right, so Lamb is going to face, Swoboda, Grody, and Harrelson. Here's the pitch from Lamb, bottom of the 8th, 8-5 Mets. What seemed to be an early blowout has become a pretty decent game, and I'm glad I stuck with it. I was going to turn it into a 4-inning tutorial. Ballpark 72. That's going to be in play. In play 79, and that is going to be an out. A fly ball, center field. Willie Davis racing in, and he gets there. Nice jump. Read it well off the bat. Jerry Grody with 1 out. That's an 8. That's ballpark, a ballpark 45. He's a righty. Goes up to 32. So we're going to look at in play. In play, 0-8. That's base hit to left field. So Moda plays it in the corner. And Grody, big turnaround first, goes back. It's a 1-out single for Jerry Grody. Here's Harrelson with a 3, snake eyes, and that is going to be a base hit. Let's see what happens with that. That is an opposite field liner. And Grody's going to be able to head to third base on this, first and third. And here's McGraw. We're going to get a pinch hitter from McGraw. We got a righty. So we're going to bring in Steady Eddie Kranepool, one of my favorite players from the Bronx. Ed from the Bronx, longtime Met, retired in '79. I replayed the season, the '79 season, and I replayed his final season in baseball, which was cool. I was aware of that. Big celebration in every ballpark we visited. All right, so Eddie Kranepool's coming in. Here's the pitch from Lamb. Runners on first and third, 1 out. Infield's in. That's a tough 91. And that is a fly ball to right field. And on a tough, runners hold on tough plays and in plays. But the problem when you do that, you don't get it. The wheelhouse where the runner scores automatically comes up like once in a blue moon. You'll never get a sacrifice fly that way in this game. I played the whole season, and I think I used to get a sacrifice fly every 5 games. So tough and in play, I just play it as regular fly balls, and I pull a card. And it's going to be a short fly, and Grody's a slow catcher, so he's not going to try to score on that. He's going to hold up. So it was a 91, a fly out to right field. So Kranepool pops up. Sizemore back Crawford in, and Crawford makes the catch. Grody's going to hold up, not deep enough to score Grody from third base. So that's the problem. on that rule. If you just use this rule without the additional deeper or shallow fly balls, it doesn't come up very often that there's guys on base where you roll a wheelhouse fly ball or a patient fly ball. It just doesn't ever come up. So you won't get guys tagging up from second to third or from third to home at all. It'll be unusual that you do. And that's from playing, hundreds and hundreds of games. So what I do is I use this rule, and I use the FAC rule as well. So basically, the only difference is that on wheelhouse, it's an automatic score. Because what wheelhouse is a deep drive. On a fly ball, wheelhouse is a deep drive that drives the fielder back to the wall and on the track. And that's what that represents. So a fly ball on a wheelhouse is a deep fly ball. So then, of course, it's an automatic. It's an automatic because I use the beginning of this rule with then the FAC to make it more realistic, because otherwise you will not get fly balls. It's just not enough sacrifice. It's not fly balls, sacrifice flies. So first and third, 2 outs, Tommy Agee. Here's the pitch from Lamb. It feels regular depth right now. That's a 7, tough, 89. And that is a ground ball to shortstop. Wills tosses it to Sizemore, and that retires aside. We go to last licks for the Dodgers. They're down by 3. It's going to be Taylor coming in for the Mets. Ronnie Taylor. And Ronnie Taylor is going to face the top of the order. Wills. Let's see, he's going to be facing Wills, Mota, and Davis. All right. So here's the pitch. And, okay, it's an 8. An 8 is in play, 97. That's a fly ball left field, and Jones settles under it, makes the catch. That's 1 away. Ron Taylor, in our replay, has 8 saves, 4 and 6 with a 3.88 ERA. In reality, he had a 2.72 ERA, 9 and 4. So he's going to face Manny Mota. Manny Mota batting 340 in our replay. A hell of a hitter. That's a 3. That's a tough 36. And that is a line drive base hit, left center field. Agee gets it in. So Mota's on with a base knock. 1 out base knock. Willie Davis. And that is a 4. That's a patient. A patient 0-2 is ball 4. Tying run is at the plate. So Ron Taylor walks Davis, and that brings the tying run to the plate in Wes Parker. That's a 7 in play 54, and that is going to be a fly ball right field. Swoboda under it, and he makes the catch, and there's no purpose in tagging. We need 3 runs. We need the guy who's batting, Jeff Torborg, right-handed hitter. And he's got really no power, but I don't think we have any more catchers. Let me double check. I don't think we have any more catchers. For the Dodgers, Boyer, Russell, and Grabarkowitz. So Russell, Boyer, and Grabarkowitz. Russell is Bill Russell. Grabarkowitz, I don't know what position. Bill Russell's an infielder. Grabarkowitz is also an infielder, and the other guy is Ken Boyer, who is also an infielder. We've got all infielders. So there's no more catchers, so we are not pinch hitting for Torborg. And here's the pitch from Ronnie Taylor. The Dodgers are down to their last out. It's an 8-5 Met lead. Here's a pitch, and that is an 8 in play, 0-3, and that is ripped down the line into the left field corner. That's going to score at least 1, and it's going to score Davis and into second base with a 2-out. 2-run double is Jeff Torborg. Holy smokes. He ripped that down the line into the corner, and that made it to the wall, and Jones played the carom. Both Davis and Mota scored, and that puts, I got to go back at a race. Let me do that. And it's an 8-7 ball game here with the tying run at second base, and it's Joe Lefevre. Holy smokes. Joe Lefevre versus Ron Taylor. Versus a righty. Lefevre batted .232. Let's see if we have anybody else on the batting. 226, 206. Bill Russell, you know what? We're going to let, he's a switch hitter, so we're going to let Lefevre bat. And Torborg's on second base. I can't pinch run for him. I have no more catchers. So top of the ninth, 8-7 Mets. Ron Taylor with the tying run. Ron Taylor pitching for the Mets to try to get the save. He's got the tying run at second base with 2 outs. And Lefevre batting from the left side at the plate. Here goes, boys and girls. That is an 8, and that is in play, and that's a 39. In play 39 is a hard hit ground ball. He pulls it down the line, and Clendenin with a great play, and he dives to first base and beats Lefevre, and that's the ball game. 3 unassisted. Clendenin dove for the ball, got up quickly, and then dove and touched the bag with his glove. He beat Lefevre to the bag, and that is the ball game. The Mets barely get by the Dodgers by a score of 8-7. Holy smokes. The Mets were up 7-1. They scored 7 runs in the second inning. They took a 7-1 lead, but the Dodgers came back with 3 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th, 2 in the 9th. And the game ends at 8-7. Dodgers 7 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. The Mets 8 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. And I'll give you the winning and losing pitchers and that whole scenario. Let's get that last one, 3 unassisted. Once you're out of the game, you're done. So, I mean, Don Cardwell's going to get the victory, 10-5. Don't know that he deserved it. Jim Bunning gets the loss, 5-13. Tug McGraw picks up the save. I don't know how they calculate this. Let me see. Because Ron Taylor finished off the game. So I don't know. This is 1969. I don't know the rules of the save rules in 1969. I don't worry about it that much. But Ron Taylor did not pick up the save. It was Tug McGraw who gets the save. And that's about it. So the Mets hold on to just barely get by the Dodgers by a score of 8-7. Offensively, the Mets had 2 players with 3 hits, and that was Agee and Bobby File. Agee batting .291, File .243. Kenny Boswell had 2 RBIs. He went 1 for 4. And that's about it. The CP Cards and Dice. This is Cards and Dice TV. I hope you enjoyed our game using the payoff pitch system. It was a pretty good game. It's even surprised me. Take care. Wish you the best.